Alright, I know I'm a year late, but seriously, this movie is so good, we really have to talk about it. Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi Night. I'm your host, Sebastian Vendel Martinez, and this is the show where we check out some of the lesser-known sci-fi and horror movies out there and let you know what to expect from them. So, in tonight's episode, we're checking out a movie that definitely makes you want a whole lot of personal space and privacy. The claustrophobia-inducing 10 Cloverfield Lane is a 2016 mystery, sci-fi, thriller-ish kind of film directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who you probably don't know from anything else. In 2011, he did a 7-minute-long short film based around the video game Portal, and last year he directed an episode of a super underrated sci-fi thriller show Black Mirror. But I suspect much greater things await this interesting director. The film follows Michelle, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who you might recognize from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. She winds up in a car accident after having a fight with her boyfriend, voiced by Bradley Cooper, and later wakes up chained to the wall in some weird underground bunker. She eventually gets approached by the owner of a bunker, Howard, played by Fred Flintstone himself, John Goodman. He informs her that some kind of horrible attack has occurred by an unknown force, contaminating the air and killing everyone outside.
There's been an attack.
What?
An attack. A big one. I'm not sure yet if it's chemical or nuclear, but down here we're safe.
Howard seems well-meaning, but Michelle is understandably freaked out and suspicious considering the circumstances, and Howard's behavior isn't really doing a whole lot to help either. Eventually, Michelle also meets Emmett, played by John Gallagher Jr., who played a crazy killer in the horror thriller Hush. Emmett is also pretty unsure about Howard, but confirms a lot of what he said about the outside world, that some kind of attack actually has happened.
It looked like a flash. Bright red. Like an explosion from way far off. It wasn't like fireworks. No, this was more like something you read about in the Bible.
Reluctantly, Michelle starts making the best of the situation, but starts suspecting that something strange is still going on and that Howard is lying about something. Alright, and that's where I gotta stop with a plot summary, because believe me, this is definitely a movie that is better the less you know about it. Yeah, just like with previous films that we've reviewed, such as the thriller May and the sci-fi gem Moon, this is a film that you should know as little about as possible for your own benefit. A lot of people have wondered what connection this film has to the 2008 found footage monster film Cloverfield, as both that and 10 Cloverfield Lane are produced by J.J. Abrams and his company Bad Robot. But in practice, these films don't really have anything to do with each other.
Lucky us.
There are connections, but it's probably better for you to see them for yourself. The movie is very atmospheric. The actors all do a great job, and you will not believe how tense a game of charades can get in the right hands.
I'm always watching. Always.
Overall, everything is just really well done here, and director Dan Trachtenberg expertly balances thrills and scares with heart and humor. It's very engaging and a real what would you do if you were her kind of film.
And I could see it. Right there on his face. He knew something was happening. Something bad.
Yeah, for real. The first time I watched this, I was freaking out and screaming for Michelle to hurry up in certain situations. This obviously speaks volumes to how much this film pulls you in, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, the running time felt like an hour and 20 minutes, not an hour and 44 minutes.
You think I sound crazy?
Also, there's so much setup and payoff. Rewatching it recently, I realized how much is foreshadowed or set up, and it's nice to see good writing translate into excellent film here. Without spoiling anything, keep an eye on the whiskey bottle Michelle brings with her, and you'll see what I mean. So aside from a super spoilery whiskey bottle, what should you expect from this movie? Claustrophobic thrills. So the fact that almost the entire film takes place in an underground bunker should be a clear sign of how character and story focused this film is, and it gets very claustrophobic and tense in these close quarters. The cinematography and shots are great and really appropriate for this kind of film, and the way the look and the feel of a bunker changes a bit depending on the character chemistry is great. By the end of the film, you'll be looking for answers and a way out of a bunker just as much as our protagonist.
How do you know that?
Because I told him.
Damn Goodman performances. This film has a tiny cast with only really 3 characters in practice anyway, but it doesn't feel dull for a single second. Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Gallagher Jr. turn in great performances, but John Goodman steals the show here with one of his absolute best performances. It could actually be the best in his whole career, to be honest.
Everything I wanted to do, I did. I focused on being prepared, and I was. And here we are.
From the start, you can see that this is a very different kind of role for him. We're a bit on the edge meeting him, and it really sets the tone for his character. He's off, he's hiding something, but you can also feel sorrow and a playfulness in his acting, and he just shows some amazing range and depth from an actor who we've usually just seen in comedic roles. This is definitely not one of those.
I need to use your phone then to call my family and tell them that I'm safe here and make sure they're okay.
Michelle, they're not okay.
How do you know that?
Everyone outside of here is dead.
Unexpected turns. Some of the stuff you're expecting may happen, but some will probably catch you by surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker!
10 Cloverfield Lane delivers quite a few shocking moments to accompany the great atmosphere and tension that builds up throughout the film. The ending will be the biggest twist and turn, but overall this is a real roller coaster of a film that'll have you smiling one minute and tensely biting your nails in the next.
And that means something.
One thing that seems to really split audiences though is the ending, and how the hell am I going to talk about it without spoiling anything? So as usual, I don't like spoiling too much about the movies I review, certainly not the ending, but let me put it this way. The ending is a little reminiscent of the TV series Black Mirror, which is appropriate considering Trachtenberg's direction. And if you haven't seen it or don't know about it, then don't worry, we actually did a video about the show, which you can check out. I'll put a link in the description. Basically, it's a twist that'll make you go, what the fuck? And if that what the fuck is in a good or bad way, kind of depends on your preference.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at, but there's more to it.
Personally, I really liked it.
Totally, you earned it.
It was a little weird, but honestly, so is the movie. Overall, this is a great, thrilling experience that will keep you on the edge of your seat, gasping for air and freaking out, much like some of the characters in the movie. So that about does it for this episode of Sci-Fi Night. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, you just leave us some comments below, letting us know what you thought about this episode, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and suggestions for future content. So as always, I'm your host, Sebastian Wendell Martinez, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Russians are developing some nasty stuff, and if the Martians finally figured out a way to get here, their weapons will make the Ruskies look like sticks and stones.